Hey YouTube, Vermont Prepper here. Today what I wanted to go over is one of the toolboxes I have and some of the tools that I keep as a prepper. And I think tools obviously are a very important thing to have when you're a prepper. I mean, you have to sort of learn and do things on your own. I try and do as much as I possibly can. Number one, because I like learning. And number two, because I'm cheap. I don't like paying people to do things that I feel that I can do. All right, so I'm going to go over my toolbox. That's just one of them. And some of the things that I have in it that you might find useful being a prepper. All right, first thing, I think everybody should have a warning sign for zombies, just in case. You never know. All right, in all seriousness, this is a Husky toolbox, and I forget the model, but it's an upgraded model that happened to be on Home Depot. I think it was like $300 off. I think I got this thing for like $5.99, and I think they're like $7 or $8.99 on Home Depot now. And again, I forget the model, but it is I believe it's a 10 drawer. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10 drawer with a cabinet. So basically, it's got a pretty cool finish. It's like a matte black finish, and it has a sort of like a butcher block top on it. Pretty cool looking, nice finish. Very, very heavy, very sturdy. It also has this pretty cool, they call them, I guess you call it a pegboard, but it's made out of steel actually, and it comes with a shelf. And on this shelf, I keep all of my electrical connectors, screws, various wiring and things like that. And again, it's not everything, but it's some of the things that I use mostly. On the pegboard, what I do is I hang some of my DeWalt tools, and I'm a big DeWalt fan. I'll probably do another DeWalt video as well. So I hang up some of my DeWalt tools, and I put my variable transformer that I use for my old radios. And what that thing does is it basically, if you have a radio and tube, it's a tube-based ham radio that's been sitting around for a while. You kind of bring up the power slowly so you don't do anything that will be sudden as far as surges into the tube. So you can bring it up slowly with this knob right here. I have a tagging system, a Dymo called ElectroTag, and what this does is it keeps everything organized. I've tagged, my solar power battery box with all the different connectors on it, what they're used for, etc. All right, here's my right here is a carbon fiber rod to clean your ARs. Okay, so it's a Tipton carbon fiber, or actually, yeah, Tipton carbon fiber unit to clean your ARs. Tipton vise, so you can basically I'll take it off actually. It's pretty cool. It's the world's best gun vise, that's what they call it. And I have the extra attachments. I have this that you kind of flip up and you can put your AR on it. It has clamps right here to clamp your buttstock, and you hold the front end is guided right there. It has a lot of adjustments. You can go back and forth with it. You can put it on angles, whatever you might want to do. So it's a pretty cool unit right there. I have my roll pins right there. Some more DeWalt tools, my regular drill, and my impact wrench right there. Then inside the top drawer, what I have are various tools that you can use for just about anything. I use them for weapons, to hard to get places with some of those curved needle nose. If you need some strength with flat ends, I have those pliers right there. Various squeegee bottles that you can put whatever liquid in you want, cleaners, screwdrivers, mini screwdrivers right here, DeWalt again. These are your jags for cleaning, various brushes, again a micro screwdriver set, a little bit more in depth, and then right here you have a big old fat wrench which you can use for torque. It gives you an indicator there if you need a specific torque. This right here is a bore guide kit, and what this does is this helps you clean your weapons. This is where you can put your rod down through your bore and clean your weapons with this thing. It kind of guides the rod. Okay, and I have some Wheeler Engineering screwdrivers. These are really useful. They have just about any kind of end to them, whether it be Phillips head, regular, square, hex, etc. Your various Torx screwdrivers, and then specialty drivers as well. So a lot of different things, and they're all like, some for Ruger specifically, some for your scopes. There's just a bunch of different connectors in there. All right, so that's one of the things, and that one you had to kind of upgrade to get all of the various ones in there. Okay, I just have some, haven't really filled this one up yet. This is some various parts. I have some triggers in there, etc. Some electrical connectors. Here's where I keep a lot of my electrical testing equipment, and I think there's a couple things that I want to show you here. I mean, besides the multimeters, this right here is a clamp meter, and it's by Fluke. It's a pretty good one. You put this around a cord, it'll tell you your current going through there without having to mess with it. So that's there. These are some old school multimeters. They're analog, which I use for my old radios. And here's some Dremel attachments, and I'll show you. I have an extensive Dremel kit. This right here, these Dremel attachments I use. Actually, you can use a Dremel to sharpen a chainsaw, which I do, and you save yourself a lot of money by doing it. All right, so here's some of my extra tubes for my radio, or radios, right? This particular box has crystals in it. And for those of you who have been into ham radio and you're into vintage radios like I am, these crystals represent different frequencies. So they're like the tuner on your radio, basically, except you plug in your crystal for the frequency that you want. All right, so this is used on some of the old Heath kits and some other units. And as you see right here, these 50, the 50 represents the 6 meter band, all right, 50 megahertz. All right, so again, some various tubes that I keep, spares or whatever you have. Sometimes you get some good deals on eBay. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you is this. This is a transformer that sort of transforms AC into DC power. So it does 30 amps, and it's made by Astron. And I use this to I can actually power my small 5-gallon solar water heater with this. You know, I could do it either by solar or by powering it directly. Okay, I have a soldering kit right in here. I don't need to open that up. Various cleaning kits for your weapons. There's 2 of them there, and I just have them as spares. They're unused. I have a ton of cleaning equipment in here, and I'll actually open this toolbox up because I think it's pretty cool. It's a Stanley toolbox, but I keep a lot of the cleaning equipment that I use in here. This is my daily use one. So you have your basic brushes, etc. in there. And then this thing I'm trying to do with one hand. This swings up like that. And you can see you keep all of your cleaning things in there, and you can just take it with you. It's really cool. And this thing's pretty cheap. It's not expensive at all. You know, so I have all my brushes in here. I have various cleaning oil, some lubrication, some more brushes, and then of course the brushes are categorized per caliber right there. So again, very convenient. I really think it's important, especially in my situation, to be organized, because I live in an apartment, and I did a thing on apartment prepping earlier that showed you all of this stuff. So it's really important to know where your stuff is. Okay, here's my Dremel attachments. Again, I have other attachments. These are kind of spares, but I use them down right to almost to the bare bones, bare metal, until I tap into these things. So a lot of extra connectors I have right there. All right, here's your various oils that you should have. You know, again, very good to keep as much of a variety as you can afford. You know, various penetrating oils, WD-40 of course, rust dissolver, battery protector. Like in Vermont here, you have to really make sure that you know, you protect your batteries, that, you know, the terminals, etc. And then in here, you know, various more oils to clean weapons. I have some gear oil for my blazer, and, you know, some bore oil down there. And I experiment with different stuff, so I always try and see what's the best and easiest to use. And, you know, for some things, like any other thing, some things are better than others for different use cases, right? All right. In here, I have various DeWalt drills, some Ryobi drills. These are my label spools for my Dymo label maker. Extra solar charge controller, you know, another surge protector. And a lot of these things, sometimes I just throw stuff in there. Oh, I did a separate video on this. If you could ever find one of these cheap, this thing will cut through like 1-inch diameter cable. So it'll cut through a winch cable if you have it. This is called the Big Kahuna. And I got it used off of eBay. And you hook this up to your drill. And basically, you see how this thing's turning right here. As it's turning, you see it kind of clamping there. That's how it uses. And this thing, you know, goes around the handle of your drill. So you could use it with any drill. But it is absolutely unbelievable. And here's my attachments of, you know, for 308. Another attachment for my tipped-in best gun vise. And then here's my regular Dremel. And I have some solder in there. And here's my Dremel one. Here's the ones that I use, and you can see they're all beat up, but I have extras. But I use these things down to nothing, so I'll just keep it and use them until they go down to 0. All right. Well, while I'm at it, I guess I can go through some of the DeWalt things that I have. I have this DeWalt mobile tool station, and it's pretty handy. These toolboxes come off. They come off very easily. Right there. These handles snap on and off, and you put it. I actually have one more toolbox that goes on top. And then inside the toolbox, you have all of your equipment. And here's, a light. And these DeWalt comes in kits. I mean, you have various drill bits, screw heads. I have a Sawzall, some extra blades, etc. And I have in this big one below, I have, a skill saw, one of the circular saws. So, I got all the DeWalt stuff. I really think they're great quality. And then this thing right here, pretty cool power station by DeWalt. Let's see if I can turn it around so you can see it better. All right, DeWalt power station. This thing will charge 4 20-volt batteries at once. And then if you ever ran out of power and you have this thing, say on a job site or wherever you're going, and I'm not a contractor or anything, but I do a lot of stuff outside, so I use this thing. You can actually use this as an inverter. So you can plug something in here, and you have, I believe, let's see how many volts out, 1800 or watts, 1800 watts of continuous power. All right, so it's pretty powerful. I mean, and it uses the battery power to power your AC tool or whatever you're plugging in there. Light, it might be a light. All right, I think that's about it that I wanted to go over for my tools. I mean, I have some other tools over here. Well, why not go over while I'm into it? Okay. Again, these Husky cabinets right here, these things are super strong. Each particular shelf holds 200 pounds, and I have a lot of stuff in here. You can see all of my first aid stuff from Doom and Bloom. I have some diesel fuel in there. I have extra oil, some radiator fluid. I keep extra shell casings for reloading. I have my reloading power plant by Hornady, lock and load. Haven't set any of this stuff up. I have everything you need to do for reloading and have not set it up because I got no room. Hopefully getting a house this year, 2019. All right, so here I use this quite a bit. This is the Hornady Sonic Cleaner, and this thing is great. You can put an AR upper in here, and you have various basins in there of stainless steel. And what this thing basically does is it vibrates the carbon off of your barrel or your the slide or whatever you put in there, and you have to use special solution. All right, right here, these things, I can't tell you how much I use these particular screw sizer. So you could size your bolts or your screws by just, you see them in a hardware store, and I found one on eBay, reasonable price, and I decided to get one because I always have to go to a hardware store if I want to figure out the size of a screw I have. Again, some more screw bins, etc. And here I have some of the hex wrenches, hammers, various files. I mean, these are all things that you guys can accumulate over the years. Torque wrench. You accumulate them as you go. You don't have to buy everything at once because you might not use them. And again, it's very important to keep them organized when you use them because it keeps tools accessible, as well as it keeps them nicer because, you care about them. Again, more screwdrivers or screws, drill bits, some brushes, wire brushes, some hole saws, things like that. This is sort of like a spare drawer of whenever I see something like at a store or something that I like. I kind of get it, and if it's small enough, I put it in this drawer, and I'll use it in the future at some point. This, the drill doctor, go see a video on this. This video is really taken off with people. I show people how to sharpen their drill bits using this thing. It's a really, really cool way to save yourself some money and not having to go buy new drill bits. DeWalt ratchet set, and then I have right here tap and die set, and I have them both in metric and in SAE, which is US. So very important to have if you break a bolt inside of, say, your engine block. The only way you're going to get them out is by using one of these things. And then I have a hydraulic crimping tool. And what I use this thing for is to make wires. Because if you see if you're into, like, you know, electronics, electricity, and solar power, you have to buy a bunch of different wires and cable. This thing will clamp, you know, I make big thick battery cable out of this, and you can clamp on any of those big connectors that you see, and they have different clamp sizes. Very good to have if you're into that kind of thing, as far as solar power or any other kind of thing that uses large battery cables. Right here I have all of my, you know, needle nose. I have, you know, different connectors, MC4 connectors, which again used in solar. I can crimp them. I have my power pole crimper, you know, various cutters, needle nose, etc. Here's a wire splicer. You know, all of these things I've accumulated over the years as I use them. Love latex gloves. I use them for just about everything when I work on a car. You know, C-clamps. Again, DeWalt, love them. That's just equipment. Okay, here's where I keep my Hornady Sonic solution, and you clean cartridges or gun parts. And then I have a DeWalt drill in there. All right. And the last toolbox, again, down here, it's hard to see, but again, various things like, you know, stabilizer, brake fluid, lubricant. You know, accumulate all of these. Don't throw that junk out. You know, I'm not a hoarder, but, you know, these are things that I use, and I just you know, buy extra when I see them. If I use them once, I'll buy it. You know, grease gun, any kind of tape, again, putty knives, you know, tool, you know, wrenches, more you know, plier type things, screwdrivers, you know, you name it. I probably use quite a bit. This is my drawer where I keep all of my, like, glue, mesh for, you know, handling body work, you know, small body work things, sealants, you know, things like that. Big fan of Gorilla Epoxy. Everybody should have this at all times. Never be without it. All right. All right, I guess I got a little carried away. You know, I hope it wasn't too long for you, but again, these cabinets, really cool. And we'll end right where we started. Oh, one thing, right? My son is a detailer, and he bought these lights for at night because, you know, car detailing can take a lot of time. Very cool lights by Powersmith. I think they're 10,000 lumen, if I'm not mistaken, and they're a reasonable price on Home Depot. But there's just so many things that you can do, and that, you know, with tools. Oh, one other thing, I'm going to do a separate video on this. I keep getting sidetracked. There's so many things. This is the best battery operated compressor that you can find. Superflow. It's the MV90. I'm going to do a separate video on it, but I'm going to put this on back. I'm going to put this inside of an ammo box and fasten it to the back of this trailer tongue box. And this trailer tongue box is going to house a solar battery for my military trailer that I have. So stay tuned for that. I have a lot of stuff going on with that trailer, and I kind of want to do like a big reveal. I did a video of when I first got it, but I'm going to do a big reveal when it's done. It's going to be super, super cool. All right, guys. I think that's enough for this video, and hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Hopefully not thumbs down. We don't like those. Anyways, hope you all keep prepping. Vermont Prepper out. Thanks so much for watching us. Take care.